Hello and welcome to another episode. I need to start this one with an apology. Last week I lied. I said it was the dullest sporting week of the year. Nope, that was this one.
Well, technically you didn't, because there hasn't actually been any sport, I don't think, has there?
Well, that's true. There's been some
What have you watched?
nonsense. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, I've watched half an hour of Bayern versus Boca Juniors. Boca Juniors, I think. And then I've watched 20 minutes of someone today. And I can't tell you who they were. Team in River Plate against a fish. It was a fish.
Tuna?
Sergio Ramos played for him.
I didn't know he still played football.
Salamander FC, we'll call them.
Monterey.
That's it. That's a fish, that, isn't it?
No idea. Could be.
I think it is. It's some sort of aquatic animal anyway. Yeah, it was pretty shit. I've tried. I've gave it some time. Yeah, I can't really say that I'm interested at all. One quick question on this before you get into what you were going to say. So the winners of this,
yes,
are classed as the best team in the world.
Yes,
is that what we're saying?
Yes.
So what happens if the team that wins it are not the best team in the world?
But they are, because they've won it.
But Liverpool haven't won it, and Liverpool haven't in it, and Liverpool are definitely one of the second best team in Europe currently, I would say. Is it not? My question was going to be: is it not a little bit delayed?
Absolutely, because we've based qualification on what happened in.
This is what I'm saying. So to say you were the best nation in the world, you would win the World Cup, which is current. But if PSG win it, then you've got a good argument to say, fine, they are the best team in the world. They've won the Champions League, they've won the World Club Cup. But if Chelsea win it, how is anyone going to argue that Chelsea are currently the best club in the world? Based on
true.
What? Can anyone make an argument that they're better than Liverpool? I hate Liverpool, but Liverpool are definitely a better football club than 99% of the ones in there, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And you've got to think, because we've done it based on qualification of Chelsea winning the 2021 Champions League, which is just.
So is the next one in 4 years then? Is this like a 4
year?
We'll
follow the same time scale as
we're
the
going to do
real
this, but we've got 48 teams next time.
Oh, Christ knows.
There's 48, I think. So over the next 4 years, we're going to pick out all the winners of all the trophies, and then we're just going to invite into Miami.
Probably, yeah. That's what we'll go with.
Because Inter Miami haven't won anything, have they? That's why.
Not that I know of.
No, they're an invitational entry.
Okay.
And obviously it's because all of their players are really well known, and they wanted them all in the competition, didn't they? You know, they've got their well-known left back and their well-known right back. Or is it because they've got Lionel Messi?
And you've hit the nail on the head at the end.
But my other question then was going to be, why didn't they invite Ronaldo? Do they not like Ronaldo?
Well, are his team not in it?
Well, I don't think so. I haven't seen him. I don't know who they are, but I haven't seen him around. And there was rumours that somebody was going to buy him to play in the Club World Cup. So I'm guessing his team aren't there.
Okay, then they must not have been a very successful club 3 years ago.
Only they're into Miami. That's what I don't get. Is it because it's in America and they're just inviting American clubs along?
Probably, yeah, because they wanted the big name stars in there and they needed it to draw in all the massive crowds that they've achieved.
I mean, I've got to admit, I've 95% of the teams in there, I don't even know what nation they come from. Never mind what trophy they won to get here.
Nope, not a clue.
I mean, Monterey today, my first thought when I saw the name is they were a J League side. But when I saw the players, they definitely weren't, because none of them were Japanese. So then I went for Brazil. But I don't know. Are they American? Are they Brazilian? Are they neither?
I don't think they're either, because I'm pretty sure Monterey is a cheese. But I don't think that's relevant to the conversation that we're actually having.
So what are they called? Are they called FC Monterey?
Yes, I'm going to go with that. Monterey FC are a team from Mexico.
Mexico? Well, I never.
South America.
Yeah. Oh, better than that. Yeah, so I mean, this is what the game I play. It's more exciting than the actual games. Is what nations are taking part, and
Yeah.
I mean, how is Sergio Ramos playing in Mexico?
I didn't even know he was still playing football.
I mean,
I
he
won't
looked good,
lie.
to be fair to him, although he was playing against some pretty bang average players. I'm not going to lie, but it he actually looked quite good. I didn't even know he played for him. I didn't know he was there. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw him run out and thought, I'm sure that was Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, he is playing in the tournament. And then the other thing I saw is Nicholas Jackson managed to get himself sent off the other day for a ridiculous tackle. And I just thought, well, this is just all nonsense.
Yeah, I can't get on with it at all. I can't see the purpose of it. I can't see what it proves because it doesn't prove they're the best team in the world because some of the best teams in the world aren't taking part. The current best teams in the world aren't taking part. It's almost like a tournament for the best team in the world from 4 years ago type of approach, and that's just a totally relevant point to me.
And then
It's
my
like
other issue that I came up with was it's the first time this version of this ridiculous tournament's been played. And like we've said before, nobody in America really cares about football. There's 3,000 people turning up to some games, less to others. If this was going to be your flagship main football tournament, best in the world, blah, de, blah, de, blah, surely you play it in Europe. I mean, I know
well,
we said
yeah,
this
I
last
mean,
week, but surely
I
play it in Europe.
understand there's they're using it as a bit of a test for next year, but don't they already do that in every World Cup anyway with another tournament?
The Confederations Cup, I believe, is usually played before the
Another
World Cup.
appointment. That's usually the test tournament, isn't it? They already have a tournament to test. I mean, I'm not being funny, but this is America. I don't think it's not like we're having it in Guatemala, is it? We don't really need to test the infrastructure and they have bigger sporting event or as bigger sporting events weekly. I'm not sure what we're testing for.
Well, no,
It's
because
like
they won't have, America won't have built anything for this World Cup. The hotel's already there. The
exactly the trains are there, the
train
trams are
lines, the
there, the
airports,
buses are there,
the stadiums, it
everything's there.
all
So
has
I don't know
existed.
what we're demoing. It's like when we demo VAR in the automatic offsides in the Premier League. We've already demoed it 1,000 times over a competition. I'm not sure what we're gaining here. Yeah, if you're going to run this tournament, it should have been in London, shouldn't it?
Well, it should have been in Spain, Madrid,
Maximize your
Barcelona.
exposure to people that are actually interested in football. Like I said, if you don't play with your hands, America aren't bothered. So if they could pick it up and run with it, they'd probably be all over it. But you can't, so they're not interested.
Yeah, and that's pretty much as far as I've gone with
I'd
sport
love
this
to
week.
know how many locals have actually gone to the games that aren't when their team's not playing. So obviously when Inter Miami are playing, you've got a chance of filling the stadium. But I'd love to know how many locals went to, Bayern Munich, Auckland.
Well, there was a game the other day with two teams that I can't even remember that was played in a 22,000 seat stadium and 3,000 people turned up.
I mean, that's not even League Two, is it?
No.
Kettering FC get more than that, and that's non-league. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's all just a bit of a farce. I've paid it as little attention as I physically can because I'm not prepared to.
Well, I've had quite a bit to watch, but it's always on at a different. Obviously, it's more local sport that I'm watching, so it's on during the day. So when I get up in the morning, I tried to give it a bit of airtime, but I found myself watching it rain rather. It'd been more interesting than that.
And then the only thing that I know that's actually happened this week in the world of football is yesterday, Marcus Rashford has decided he wants to play for Barcelona.
I've just read
Wondering
this
what there.
literally as I was coming on. I was just thought there's not been a lot happening. I'll just see if there's been any stupid stories. And as soon as I saw this, I thought, so he wants to play. So do I. I would like to play with Lamine Yamal. I mean, I don't think that's how football works, does it?
Well, this was my problem. I was like, you can't decide that.
I think of the two, Lamine Yamal should be picking who he wants to play with, not Marcus Rashford picking that he's okay to play with Lamine Yamal. He's all right with that, and to play for Barcelona because he won't have to do any defending, so they don't bother. I just find it quite ironic how the one player that's not actually pulling up any trees wants to go and play with probably the only young player at the moment that's not got a massive attitude and actually tries to play football.
Yeah, I just found it really ironic that he just decided that.
I mean, can I just say, Barcelona, please buy him because I'm a Man United fan. But coming from a football perspective, Barcelona, don't go anywhere near him because he will ruin what you're building. Because he's one of the most exciting teams to watch in world football at the moment. And the last thing you want is that prat anywhere near your football club.
What I've heard, and I only know it as a rumour, United offered him Barcelona for 30 million, and Barcelona said no.
Oh, they're going to do, aren't they?
So he might want to go there.
And now
but
he's
for some
coming out and
Rockies,
doing a
they
bit of
don't
a
want
PR
him.
thing and saying, "Oh, I'd love to play with Lamine Yamal. I'd love to play for Hansi Flick, and Spain's always been somewhere I want to play." Just like when Amarin walked in, he was tweeting, "This is amazing. Training's enjoyable again." Blah blah blah. Piss off, you moron. Honestly, I need him gone, but I almost don't want Barcelona to buy him because I just think it'll ruin football. Because they are actually worth watching at the minute. Got to, I don't know. Somebody was rubbish. Got to Bayern, they're crap. I'm not a bit bothered watching them.
He'll probably end up at somewhere like Newcastle, let's be honest, or Aston Villa. He'll go back
There's been
there.
rumours that Newcastle might go for him. I don't think Villa will go for him. I think they're struggling for money. Can't you go to Italy? I don't watch Italian football. It's crap. Go out there and play for, I don't know.
Lazio.
Yeah, Leaning Tower of Pisa.
So
Yeah, go out there.
We are.
Well, they're not going on tour, are they? Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, and Anthony have all been told they're staying at home, not going to America. So it's looking pretty grim for them four, which I totally agree with. They shouldn't be anywhere near the first team again. I mean, Garnacho less so, but again, the egos come before the quality, hasn't it? He's got the ego and he's got a chip on his shoulder before he's even good enough. So leave him at home. He's got to go.
But he has been one of your better players over the last 18 months. It has to be said.
No, and I quite like him as a footballer. I just don't like his attitude again. This, tweeting things about your manager, and we're always out on social media playing his life out, aren't we? Nah, fuck him. Get him gone. So he can stop at home as well. I mean, we'll have no players on this tour. They'll be rounding up fans from airport to go and join tour at this rate.
Or Johnny Evans will be re-signed.
I'll probably get him back. But 2 years from now, I'll be saying goodbye to him again.
So yes, it has taken us a little under 12 minutes, and I've covered everything I know about sport for this week.
Haven't. Oh no, you haven't. Last time we were on, there was a small matter of a 72 lap race around a lovely track in Canada to.
Oh yes. Yes, this was last weekend, last Sunday night. Obviously, Monday morning for you.
I was filled with optimism this time last week of a championship battle.
And a few hours later, you were filled with a McLaren in a hedge.
A few hours later, I got up the next morning, all in joy, thinking he's going to, this is it. He's going to pull it back from 7th. He's going to finish 3rd. He's going to look good. And we're all going to just eat humble pie. And then he drove into his teammate. I mean, the only excuse he hasn't got is it's fucking bright orange, the car. You can't miss it, can he? It's not like he didn't see it. What's he doing? Come on, I can't. I mean, I repeat myself every week. Just clip it, because just put last week's in. What is this moron doing?
Well, there are two parts of it that are a positive. So bear with me here. Bear with me.
This could be interesting.
The first move at the hairpin, ballsy, makes it work, gets past him. Into then the next chicane, realizes Oscar's on the inside, backs out early to get the better run. So he'd made two brilliant pieces of driving. Then, granted, ruined it all by putting it in a hedge. But at least there were signs of him going for it. And I know it went badly wrong, and I know it was stupid.
No, yeah, I'll give
but
you
at
that.
least for the first time, I actually sat there and went, "You've gone for it." I mean, you failed miserably, but at least you tried. You didn't just sit there for the next 12 laps and go, "It's fine, I'll just finish behind him." He made a complete hash of it.
I said, does it not just stink a little bit of you've been in the casino all night and you're on your last 20 quid, so you just banged it on red? And it was black. I understand the concept of him going for it, but is he just going Hail Mary now because he's not really sure what to do? Because if he sticks, he fails, and if he twists, he fails. So there's got to be logic to what he's doing, hasn't there?
And he's just totally misjudged the situation. It very much looked like Button and Hamilton from 2011, but granted that was in the rain.
I did know it happened, but it wasn't in my. I saw a photo the other day. It said McLaren repeated 14 or 15 years later. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, as soon as it happened, I was like, wow, that's literally a repeat of what happened 14 years ago. But yeah, he's totally misjudged it. He's got it completely wrong. But then The only one part of it, well, then the aftermath of it, at least he's a driver that will hold up his hands and say, yes, that was my fault. I mean, granted, he didn't have much choice because it was blatantly obvious it was his fault.
Other people can learn from. But again, I like the fact he said it's his fault. But it's the way he says it. It's all a bit pathetic, isn't it?
It was all very defeatist, I think. It was very much.
It's a bit, don't get me wrong. I don't want him to come out and say it was all Oscar's fault or what was he doing or anything stupid like that. It was his fault. But there's a way to come across like, I don't know, like if that was somebody else that kind of go, yeah, see what's happened. It's my mistake. We go again. Forget about it. Move on. He almost said it like they've had to talk him out of quitting. He was that. He's like, it was almost like it. That's it. I've had enough. I've got to pack up now. I keep crashing into people. It's always my fault. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, even when you do the right thing, you seem to be doing it wrong.
It's kind of all unraveling him around him at the minute. He needs to get to Austria next week, somehow be quicker than everybody else, and just drive and have it go his way.
Austria is my second favorite track, I would say,
because I think if it goes wrong in Austria,
then probably is this when he had a collision with Max last year.
This is where Max drove him off the road last year. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to be politically correct.
No. Max just drove him off the road. Let's not stop worrying about what people think and the nonsense they come out with.
Come 1-2, did they, or something? By some. Is it when George won and got disqualified or something?
No. So last year,
that one,
George won the race after Max and Lando took each other out. He just appeared to be there because they were both in a hedge.
That's what George does, though. George is like, it's like a shadow, isn't he? He's just there.
But then last
week, never really
week,
hear from him or see from him, and
he was just perfect. He did everything he needed to do. Controlled the race.
But George is like that, isn't that? When I said before,
proved you to be an utter moron by being very good at Formula One.
Still not rang me. All the work I've done for him, I'm better than his PR department. They should be sacked. I'm better than him. But he's very like, don't know, quiet and goes about his business, doesn't he? And just quietly does a good job. He's a good.
And do you know what he's? But you know what he's not quietly doing? He's very much rubbing Max and Red Bull up the wrong way, which is quite interesting to see.
Do like he has got quite a dry personality, and quite a personality you don't see coming out of him. He looks very prim and proper, but he's not scared to sort of fire shots off, is he? And have little digs and.
But he gets away with them because he fires shots in the most polite, prim and proper way possible.
Yeah, you just don't like. He's almost like he swears at people, but he doesn't use real swear words, does he? It's like he's going to say, "Oh, chuffing hell," It's like it doesn't. But it's quite clever how he does it. I'll give him that. He is. I think his personality is very much like his driving style, very sort of prim and proper, with a little flair of something in there that just makes him better than some of the others. Still not good enough, but yeah.
And then there was the other bit of that race that was right at the very end. So after Lando had decided that having 4 wheels attached to his car wasn't what he wanted and he would rather be sat on the pit wall.
He said it, overrated having 4 wheels.
Max accidentally passes George under the safety car. George jumps straight on the radio saying he's passed me. Max jumps straight on the radio saying he's brake checked me. Red Bull protests, and some 6 hours later, the FIA decide to say, shut up, it's all nonsense, get a grip.
But it's like VAR again. Why did it take them 6 hours? Why didn't 15 minutes after the race to just go, sorry, I'm not interested. Go away.
Because in their infinite wisdom, they decided to do the incidents as they were reported. So instead of taking the big one first, because it was for the race win, they went back to the ones that happened. So they did, and basically did them in chronological order, which there's a rationale to, but when you're deciding the race win, you surely pick that first, in my opinion. It would just make the most sense.
Give them an air of importance. The fact that 16th and 17th might need a 5-second penalty is fucking irrelevant.
Or the Lando penalty that they came up with, which 1 makes no sense, and 2 was irrelevant.
Penalty.
Why we did all of that before Max and Russell, I don't know. So yes, Lando was given a 5-second time penalty for the collision with Oscar.
When's that added on to then?
His race,
That he doesn't finish.
Because of when he retired, he was classified because he did more than 90% of the race.
So has the 5-second penalty dropped him down any places, Rob?
Yes, he's 20th now.
As opposed to where he was when his wheels fell off?
20th.
Sound. So I feel like they've wasted their own time here. What's the point in giving someone a penalty in the race they're currently in when they're not fucking in it anymore?
It's an application of rule. That's the only reason it's been done for.
It's stupid. That's what it is. If you're going to give him a penalty, add it on to next week. And I like Lando and I want him to do well. But if you're not going to add it on to next week, just fucking delete the incident off your little notepad and move on.
Yeah, they can't cut it onto next week's. He was classified in the results of this race. So he actually has a finishing race time because he did 90%. So they add 5 seconds to that race time.
Well, he won then because he finished race faster than anyone else. Didn't he? He finished 15 minutes before Oscar. So Lando gets all points then, does he? Is that what we're saying? I mean, how stupid is this?
But the other stupid
finishing is when he crosses finish line. That's the idea.
The other bit that's stupid is he also managed to escape with no penalty points for that incident. Now, standard practice is if you cause a collision, it's usually 10 seconds and 2 or 3 penalty points. 1, 2, or 3, usually. You got 5 seconds and none. I don't know what they're doing. They're just making crap up. They're just doing whatever they feel like at any given moment.
We're just flipping coins again, aren't we?
But the Red Bull protest was just so childish. Oh, it was unsportsmanlike that he said that on the radio. Oh, get a grip, Karen Horner, and shut up and leave us all alone.
Horner.
Well, I've renamed him. He's now Karen. He's very annoying.
And then I realised his wife's not called Karen, so I should have known that.
And she's called Jerry, and she's annoying as well.
Well, they're together, aren't they? 2 peas in a pod.
But yeah, I mean, it was all just pathetic. Oh, he's passed me. Oh, he brake checked me. Oh, I don't care. Shut up. Fly over to Austria and go and do another race or something because you're all just getting on my tits now, quite frankly.
So what do we take from last week then? Is there any... still the favourite?
What I take from last week is Lando is spiraling out of control right now because he can't get on top of the car. He can't get on top of Oscar. He can't get on top of what's holding him back. Oscar didn't have the greatest weekend, I don't think. He still came out third, but I don't think... He never looked on pace with Lando for the whole weekend. Lando looked the faster of the 2 drivers, but just bottled it.
But that's the difference between the 2 guys, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah.
Oscar, it's like when you're going for the Premier League and they say to you, winning when you're not at your best is a big sign of a good side. Lando only seems to win when everything goes his way. Whereas Oscar's still pulling performances out, even on weekends where it's not his favourite track, or it's not quite quick enough, or he's just not feeling it.
Yeah.
He's still first or second. In a sort of very championship winning driver's way, isn't he? You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
You watched Lewis Hamilton for years, haven't you? Just always seems to be on the podium. Every weekend on the podium. You just think that's why you're winning titles, because you're always there. You're not 11th, then 1st, then 5th, then 12th, then you're just there. Top 3 every week. Just keep finishing up there and you've got a good chance. With Lando, I mean, 1 minute he's pole, next minute he's qualified 7th. And gives 1 minute he's got 4 wheels, next minute he's got 3, next minute he's in an edge, next thing he's crying. He's everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah, and then the only other kind of one that came out of last weekend, which is still now to be an unanswered. Have Mercedes now figured out how to run in warm temperatures? It was quite hot last week at Canada at the race day, which historically Mercedes doesn't like.
2 degrees track temperature, and Mercedes seemed quite happy before the race with the temperature. I thought this, and something I normally pick up on, but I know under Hamilton, this was where they struggled, wasn't it? The higher altitude or the warmer conditions where they couldn't get the cooling.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they went, oh, it's hot in Canada, but that's fine. Antonelli drove brilliantly to 3rd place at one point, looking like he was going to beat Max. George never really looked in danger of losing the lead at any point. There was the odd sort of half moment where Max got a little bit closer, but then, yeah, so we have some unanswered questions heading into Austria, which usually will be very
hard again. Mercedes are 2nd in the constructors now, aren't they? And Red Bull are 4th.
Well, this goes back to my prediction at the start of the season.
Driving with 1 driver, can I add, which is well done to them for getting nearly the same points as Ferrari, who've got 2 drivers, 1 car, but 2 drivers.
No, because they had 1.5 cars because the last one was broken by a beaver or something, a groundhog.
Lewis Hamilton doing very Lewis Hamilton things, weren't he? Oh my god, I'm devastated. I've killed a groundhog. Oh, shut
Yes,
up.
he all got very emotional about an animal that
Yeah.
had basically run into a road.
He's like, I don't know. Just stick to being shit at driving at a minute, mate.
Because that you've got nailed.
You've got that nailed up, innit? I mean, Ferrari our Ferrari 13 Constructors Championship. I mean, their car is bar, isn't it?
The third in the Constructors' Championship basically because everybody else is just worse than they are. Williams, although who looked brilliant sort of Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, all of a sudden went, now we don't understand this and we don't know what we're doing. Aston Martin still continue to employ Lance Stroll, who I think might still be driving around Canada. I don't know. I don't know where he
It is his
finished.
home circuit, so he's probably just enjoying it. Lap of on.
RB can't decide if they have a good car or a bad car from minute to minute. And then Nico Hulkenberg just keeps turning up and doing random things in a toaster. He actually managed to get a good result out of it, which is quite surprising. Again, 8th place. Yes, Stroll, last of the finished runners, because obviously Norris retired on lap 66. Stroll was last.
I forgot that.
Alonso did a great job in 7th, while his teammate, who obviously still has a broken hand, was last. So
At his home track as well. You know, he had the advantage.
Yes, he should understand that track more than he understands his own front living room, and still failed miserably.
Yeah,
so
we've got. His dad.
I think we've got quite a lot of unanswered questions heading into Austria.
Is it a double header again then?
That is a question and a half that I probably should know the answer to. And 29th, yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes,
29th of June to the 6th of July, as we head over to Silverstone.
2 greatest races of the season, Austria and Britain.
Britain should be very, very good this year because of the way the cars are currently running. Max, see, everybody keeps writing him off, and I'm still convinced that he can win this championship. I really am.
Well, he's in it, isn't he? But it's a bit hypocritical of me to say that because I don't think Lando can win it, and Lando's got 20 more points than him. So
yeah, but Max has not made any mistakes so far this season. He's got the best out of him. On the track, he hasn't made any mistakes. Because I don't buy that Spain was a mistake, so I'm not counting that. That wasn't a mistake. That was on purpose.
That wasn't a mistake. 100% wasn't a mistake.
He's not made a single mistake this year. He's made one error of judgment, which has cost him sort of 5 or 6 points. But if McLaren decide to both be in a hedge next week, and Max does Max things and wins, all of a sudden, I mean, I've never bought into this thing that Max is out of this championship. I've always said you've got to let it play out further. He's not out of it until well beyond the summer break and things start getting to 60, 70, 80 points. And if he can walk away from Austria having beaten one or both McLarens again, it's looking more likely that I will be right and he will win the Drivers' Championship and Red Bull will finish 4th in the Constructors. And that will be my greatest prediction ever.
I'm going on a suicide mission in Singapore if there's anywhere near.
We're not allowed to fix races at Singapore. That's happened before and people got in lots of trouble. Don't fix the race at Singapore.
I'm going to move turn 1.
Flavio Briatore is back heading to Singapore for the first time.
I'm going to go down and see him. I'm going to get pit pass. I'm going to pop downstairs, sort this race out, and I'll let Max win it.
So yeah,
so we're saying it's but Lando's not going to mount a title challenge, is he?
Unless something changes drastically and quickly. I mean, bearing in mind he's 22 points behind. If he wins, say hypothetically, he wins Austria, he wins Britain. Piastri comes second in both. He's all of a sudden back to 8 points behind. There was a lot of conversation last week that I was involved in with various people saying they've got to not bin off Lando, but they've got to back Oscar. Lando should be number 2. He should get out of the way forever on track. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. You've done 10 races. There are 12 left. 1 DNF for Oscar, and it swings again. F1 seems becoming very... People want to make absolute statements very early. And we seem to be lacking the ability to let things play out. Like at the start of the season, everybody was saying, Red Bull's a tractor, McLaren's a rocket ship, it's going to be the most dominant car in history. And I was like, no, let's see how it goes. Red Bull isn't a tractor, it's hard to set up. There's a difference. McLaren is quick, yes. Quickest, yes. But it isn't 2023 Red Bull dominance. People have seem to be jumping on bandwagons of, oh, it's all this, oh, let's do that. Just stop. Let's see what Lando does over the next 2 races. If he puts it in a hedge in Silverstone and he's 40 points behind, then fine, you're getting to a stage where he's done. And they've got to then concentrate on Oscar and protect him from Max. Fine. But if Lando wins 2 races in a row now, we've got an 8-point gap again at most, which is nothing. So it can turn it round. Do I think he will? No, that's the difference. It can be done. This is not insurmountable. This is not, Armageddon style. I've just got to send it at every corner. But do I think he's got the mentality and the mental strength and the wherewithal and the racecraft right now? No, because Oscar's just better. Oscar isn't quicker.
How old is Lando? Is he older than I think he is, or is he
26 at a guess? Somewhere around there?
Had they gone... In my head, I was thinking he might be about 26, but I wanted him to be about 23, 24 still.
No, because he's been in Formula One now for since 2018, if I remember rightly. So he's been around a fair while now. So it's not. He's not. He was born in 1999. He was born in 1999. That makes me feel old. Yes, he's 26 years old.
So he's not a kid anymore, is he?
No, he's not a kid anymore. He's very experienced at what he's doing. The pressure of a championship fight is clearly getting to him. But as I say, he's still right now, and I don't think by a lot, but right now he's fundamentally a quicker driver than Oscar Piastri is. We're only talking a 10th, maybe 2 at the most, but he is. But the application of that is the problem. That's where he becomes very English.
I would agree with that, yeah. I would say it's faster than him. He's just not consistently there or mentally there or physically there most of the time.
That's what I mean. He basically could play for the England football team. He's better than those around him, but can't play do anything. So just
he's an England football talent, but he's playing for England FC. It's like he's got England's talent and Lance Stroll's ability when he turns up on track.
It's just very strange.
It's just every week, and we just seem to think, come on now, Austria, Britain, do something. Are we going to sat here 3 weeks from now thinking, or 2 weeks from now, whenever it's run, and thinking, I've done it again, haven't I? Just done it again.
There's every possibility that in 2 weeks' time we sit here and go, this is now looking insurmountable. It could all of a sudden be 40 points. Or if he puts it in a wall, it could be 50, 60 points. And then you're going, you're probably done.
The problem I've got is, I just don't see him overhauling Piastri and then keeping in front of him. It almost seems too big a job for him to catch these points up. What I'm saying is he could have a couple of good weekends, but a couple of good weekends only gets him back in contention, doesn't it? It doesn't get him anywhere, really. Really, he needs 4 good weekends to be 10, 12 points in front of Piastri. And then he's looking at it, think, well, I've got to keep going because I've got, 8 races left or something, and I've got to win this title. I just can't see him having 10 races from now where he's at the forefront of the grid every race.
No, but I think if he gets 2, it can be a shift in mentality. It can be a shift in momentum. It can be just eases the pressure off him to allow him to drive more naturally.
It just seems at the minute, every time he gets that shift, he goes and does something stupid. He wins a race, and you just think, right, come on, kick on now.
Yeah.
And then he turns up next week, and it's almost like he's just, it's like he's been out drinking for the last 7 nights, celebrating his win, and he's still got an hangover when he gets there. It's like, where's Lando from last week? Why are you so shit this week? How can you be so randomly poor?
But if we look back, as we've said for many months, this is not an unusual trait. This is not a slump in form. This is a pattern of behaviour with Norris.
Yeah, it's a
Lando. So you look at last year, he wins Holland by 20 odd seconds, but then a week later he's terrible. He wins Singapore by 30 odd seconds, but still nearly manages to put it in the wall 3 times. So it's a pattern of behaviour that says he's either brilliant because it's all perfect, or he's kind of just not there.
Average.
Oh, like you said, when you look at the Max Verstappen's, the Lewis Hamiltons, the Michael Schumachers, the Ayrton Sennas, when it's not perfect, they get a podium.
Mm.
When it is perfect, they win by an hour.
Yeah.
Lando, it's perfect to win, or we're 12th, or we've knocked a wheel off, or we've sped under the safety car and we've done something stupid. And
we can't concentrate when it's not all going well, or fight when it's not all going well for us.
Yeah, so he's got to find a way of even last week, he'd started 7th. He was 5th on the road when they crashed. Yeah, George, Matt, Antonelli, Oscar. He would have lost 4 points, whatever it is, 3 points.
But he'd have got Piastri. I mean, he was faster than Piastri, wasn't he? He was considerably faster than him at the time.
But in the context of a championship, he was 7 points behind going into that. If he loses 2 or 3 points, 10 is not 10. The gap between 7 and 10 is irrelevant.
Negligible. It doesn't matter.
But what we've done is we've made a decision to drive into a closing gap that will always close, because that's the racing line of that part of the track. Always has been for the 30 years I've watched that track be raced. And you've put yourself in a position where now you've lost another 12 points. So the risk-reward factor there was so way off kilter.
Yeah.
So he's not going to catch Antonelli and pass him, because Oscar had proved that even in a quicker car, he couldn't do it. So the thinking of the risk-reward there was, I stand to lose 12 or gain 2, and we've sent it. And he's like, well, that doesn't work.
I mean, I don't know about you, but when you watch the onboard, does it not seem to be like the slowest accident in the world? It almost like you see it about to happen, and he still stays left. And it's like, why doesn't he brake at some point? It's like almost like he doesn't expect it's going to happen. Like divine intervention is going to kick in, and Oscar's just not going to be there. Like on Super Mario, when you can just be invisible and drive through a car in front of you. It's like I could see it happening, and happening, and happening, and then it hits him, and I'm like, well, what did you think was going to happen? There was nowhere to go. Brake. It almost seemed like once he'd gone for it, it was like, well, I'm going.
Yeah, and he kind of didn't have a plan B, and was, I think, hoping Oscar sees him and gets out of the way.
That's what I'm thinking. Almost like he thought Oscar was going to move, and I'm like, it's your job to not be there if there's not room. It's not his job to be racing and thinking, what's this idiot doing down here? I'm just going to shoot over this side. You could see the accident happening gradually, and he was the only one that didn't do anything about it. And I was like, it was a really weird sort of. I know you're talking like seconds here, but to them that's a lifetime. And you sort of could see the cars moving over, and I'm thinking, my first thought is, there's a fucking concrete wall there. I don't want it anywhere near that. Get away. And he just does it, and I'm like, oh, down.
But the accident starts on the exit of that chicane, because he gets the run on him and heads left. He should know that the car ahead is always
going to get the inside line, isn't it, for turn 1? But then again, you'd be on the outside for turn 2, so
it's never going to work because of the profile of that track. Everybody heads left.
Yeah.
So if you're heading left and the car that's in front of you is heading left, you're going to run out of room. It's not going to work. So it was badly thought out from start to finish. But again, the risk-reward factor meant doing that, the gain didn't outweigh the potential loss.
Yeah.
And if you're gambling in a situation like that, does your losses outweigh your gains? You've got to decide which is the right way to go.
At the time of the season as well, when he's got time to pull back a 2 or 3 point deficit that he loses in a race.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like I said, he looked like he'd got him on toast all day long. He just needed a matter of laps to get him and just get a better launch out off that final sort of hairpin and get him up the straight at some point. But he's almost, he just panicked and sort of full send in a really bad spot for it. Yeah.
The bit that surprised me out of all of it is how lucky Oscar was not to either get a rear puncture or rear suspension failure, because that was quite.
He got lucky, wasn't it? Wheel to wheel in the end, and it was the wall it's the wall that damages Norris, isn't it? It's not his. Norris gets away with damage on that front right. It's the concrete area to his left, which is quite large and scary.
Solid.
That does the damage. They both. I think the contact was sort of tyre face to tyre face, wasn't it? Luckily, so it sort of saved any major damage.
Yeah, but then, like you said, there's a big solid concrete wall which ends.
That's what put me off straight away.
Every...
I'm thinking, I'm heading towards a wall, and I saw Lance Stroll drive into a concrete wall at the same track, and it didn't end well for him. I'd be thinking, just stay away from that wall. I don't need to go near it. They look scary.
Yeah, and they won't give, and they won't move. The walls were not going to move.
Kind of why they're there, isn't it?
A little bit. I mean, luckily at Austria next week, the walls are much, much further away from the track, so he shouldn't be able to hit them.
Still got this little bit of gravel that they've added in just randomly on the edge of that. Was it turn 3? They stuck some extra gravel in.
No, the exit of turn 8 or 9, the second to last corner, they've put it there to stop people running wide.
Yeah, I know they stuck some random gravel in and people.
Haven't seen the track. I would assume it was still there because it worked quite well. Because I think 2023 we had something like 1,200 laps deleted.
Deleted, yeah.
For people crossing track limits. Whereas
this is the one where is it turn 5, the sharp right-hander, where the rules are reversed if you're on the, I don't know, inside or outside, no one's giving you room anymore. You're just driving to gravel and it's not your fault. I don't know. That happened to Lewis Hamilton. It's every other track. It's the opposite rule, basically. You can just do what you want down there. And the guy who's trying to overtake has just got no rhyme or reason, just what I want.
Yeah, I can't say I really understand the racing rules, if I'm completely honest. They all seem illogical and just backwards, to be completely honest. But we are where we are with that, unfortunately, until the mad dictator that we have leaves the FIA, which hopefully will be this December, but that's not looking likely either. So we are stuck with what we have.
Right. He's voting himself back in, isn't he?
Yes, because he will probably ban everybody from standing against him, let's be honest.
You'd have to be a brave man to go against him.
I think 2 weeks from now should or could be very telling as to where the F1 season will go from there. And other than that, once again,
we've covered everything.
We have literally
covered everything. There was nothing to cover, was there? I mean, it was literally the shittest week in sport I've ever known.
The
Canadian Grand Prix was about a month ago now. I mean, how long ago does that seem? It wasn't even a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem a long time ago, but I suppose that is the summer of, well, winter for you, where sport has a bit of a slowdown.
It's just, yeah. I mean, the football's not worth watching. There's no Formula 1 this weekend. Yeah, it's pretty. There's no NFL back. Been reading up on the NFL. But yeah, it's just really, really. I mean, there was the football match the other day in the Miami Dolphins Stadium. The commentator said something about the Miami Dolphins are renowned for late comebacks. And I was like, comebacks to what? They'll beat every week. What are they renowned for?
Back to the season is what they're doing.
Oh, pre-season. I was like, has he watched the Miami Dolphins? The only thing they couldn't do is make a comeback. They have a quarterback and catch a ball. I mean, yeah, I wasn't so curious about his comment. They're like, somebody's fed him that line, haven't they?
Oh, absolutely, because he's clearly a European and doesn't even understand what
You've got no idea about the NFL, mate, or the Miami Dolphins. I have. I watch them every week at the shite.
Of course they are. You support them.
Only thing about Miami Dolphins that shocks me is they don't play in red.
Do they have a... Yeah, that is very true. It's like a sea
green and white.
Orange.
So there'll be some sort of red away kit coming this season, won't there, for death in it? It's a fit.
I think we've filled enough of people's time for another week. Next week, though, we at least do have F1 to return where we can actually have something to talk about, because this has been quite... It's quite difficult to have a sports podcast when there isn't any sport, I've decided. It becomes difficult.
Yeah, we're all on the season. We've got 2 months, June, July, 8 weeks, 7 weeks.
8 weeks, and at least we can have Manchester United to laugh at all over again for another 9 months, which at least will keep me entertained for a while. Yeah. So for another week, thank you all very much for watching, listening, dealing with our utter nonsense on a weekly basis. We will be back with you all this time next week.
Bye-bye.